Famous American entrepreneur Jim Rohn once said, "You're the average of the five people you spend most of your time with." And that is true. If the five people you surround yourself with all like to go to a party and they get wasted, you probably will get wasted too. If they enjoy playing video games all night and have terrible grades, your grades will be as terrible. If they like hitting the gym on a daily basis and stay fit, there's a high chance of you becoming fit as well. We human beings learn from our surroundings. We copy each other. This is why we share culture, slang, accent, and even tradition. People learn each other's habits and adopt each other's mindsets after spending large amounts of time with each other. And that's why, with no surprise, a large majority of the most successful people on this planet have attested a lot of their success to their mentors. Martin Luther King had Gandhi, Mark Zuckerberg had Steve Jobs, Drake had Lil Wayne, and Bill Gates had Warren Buffett. It's from them that they adopted their mindsets and habits they needed to eventually become successful. I might say, well, I don't know who's successful among my friends, they're all just average people. But this is where the benefit of reading comes into play. A book is literally the words, the ideas, the mindsets, the advice, and even experience of another person. It is mostly equivalent to having that person speaking to you. 75% of self-made millionaires report reading at least 2 books a month. The true benefit of reading is you can pick and choose who you want to add to your inner group of influence. That will eventually affect who you become as a person. When you read, you get a glimpse into the mind of the author. If you want to go on a meditation retreat with Gandhi, talk politics with Martin Luther King, hit the studio with Lil Wayne, or even get business advice from Bill Gates, all you have to do is read in their words and you get a glimpse into their word and their way of thinking. You will have essentially added a new friend to your group of friends, a friend who is most likely older and wiser, on top of being significantly more successful. And this will eventually bring you to success. So start reading today.
Traveling. Definitely traveling. It's because you get to see a lot of things that you don't see in real life. You get to see people from other cultures, you get to see people from other perspectives, which is something you don't get to see every day. It's like you travel in a book.
Vision. It helps you to manage your life with success, uh, how to behave with people, with any kind of people.
Journey for me. Reading is just like a journey. You start reading and then you never know when you're gonna land. It's just like this almost unexpected journey, but it's cool and fun. It's always fun to have it. Yes, my first book was by it was an Arabic book. It was by Gibran Khalil Gibran. It was called Al Majnoon. The first time I started reading it, it was because my father recommended it, and I read it when I was 9 years old.
My first book was في قلبي أنثى عبرية. It's an Arabic book. Actually, it has 2 years since it came out. It's an amazing book that what makes me read it is I found that a lot of people read it and they enjoyed it and they loved it. So when I read it, I give it 5 stars. It's amazing. It's an amazing book and it has amazing story. Well, the book talks about three religions: Islam, Jewish, Christianity, and it plays on 2 places, on Lebanon and Tunisia. It talks about families and stuff that used to be Jewish and used to be Christian, and some used to be Muslims, and a lot of things happened, and in the end I don't want to tell you, but in the end all of them becomes Muslims in the end. It's an interesting story and a true one.
My first book ever, just like I said, it was a novel, a simple novel. It's called Entali, and this is the novel that I would recommend to most people. It was like a simple story, an innocent story, a very long one. It took me a year to finish it. However, this is what got me into reading. What made me read it, actually, it was just burdensome because I was surfing the web. My sister was doing so as well. And we found that many people were actually recommended this for young readers. So they put a small passage, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. War, innocence, study, struggles. Like, I would want to read this, and this is how I started, and it caught my attention from the first page. It's not something that you get used to, though.
My first book. Actually, I've started reading in a very young age, but my first book, it was Via Mala, yeah, and it was the first book presented to me as a gift from my father, so I read it.
I prefer poetry in literature, and I prefer it in English because I don't know. I just find like prose very boring sometimes. I don't like really to read a long texts. I like to read poetry and then contemplate about it and just give my own opinion and thought about it. And in English, because I simply like, I don't know, I used to prefer Arabic, but then when I learned English, I found that it was so much richer. I don't know why.
Well, if you're asking me about a novel, I would totally say it's كبرت ونسيت أن أنسى by بثينة العيسى. And it's talking like, I think I can relate to the character more. This is why it changed my life somehow, because the character have made some wrong decisions in her life, which she was being abused, and this what has made her like go through. She was traumatized through her entire life, and this has showed me like I've learned from her experience to do what I want and not to speculate myself and follow other people.
This may sound cliche, but the book that you're trying to say changed my life in a way. It was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I read it when I was 15 years old, and I think it was the most book that had the most influence on my life simply because it taught me how to dream, and it taught me the importance of having hope and how life works. It taught me so much about life.
Well, actually, I think the audiobooks are very good, but for auditory people. Because if you're like for a person like me, I would rather read because sometimes I would just read a passage and I would like it and I would like to read it again. However, if I listen to something just like audiobooks, I would just lose attention immediately and I would be distracted. So it's good for some people, not for all of us.
I hate them. I think they are weird and creepy because I don't really like the voices are really uncomfortable and the narrators are really uncomfortable and they really don't like they do not read the book. I feel like someone is imposing on me how to see a book because they read it differently than I read it. I would like to read the book by myself than just hear it.
Well, let me answer to lose from them. I don't think that there is anybody lose, I don't know, lose things from reading books. Reading books makes you gain things like wisdom, like I don't know, patience and stuff like this. What I guess what books gave me is wisdom. I used to be like another person, but after reading a book, I became another person. I mean.
Well, from reading books, I would say that I gained, not that I am mature now or I achieved a set of maturity, but I gained a little bit of maturity. I am not that shallow anymore. I can go deeper within things. I can see much more than an average person or a non reader person can see. And the thing that I lost the most, I think, is just like my peace of mind and my sanity. I think going to philosophy, like going deep into philosophy, can make you lose your balance as a person, lose your way in life. That's the thing that I lost to reading, my peace of mind. For people who are just starting to read, I would uh, I would recommend books of Manfaloti. I would recommend especially books of a book of Magdalene. It's a really smooth story. It's not hard to read. It's really easy and it's really how can I say? After you finish it, you will feel very compassionate and very. I don't know, tolerate about the whole idea and about the whole story. Now, for people who are used to read and they want to take it to the next level, I would just advise them to read Dostoevsky's books. I would recommend the Crime and Trial with the three books, like the whole series. It's an amazing series of books.
Yeah, for sure. Like M.Ayoub. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, writing, and I think it's the impact of reading, music, um, but most of all visual arts. And this is why I'm here in creative.
Well, I spend my free time on drawing or fashion illustrating, in addition to going to the gym or hanging out with friends, playing football. You know, that's what the Algerian youth do mostly.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
What's your favorite dish?
ملوخية.
Mulukhaya. Why do you like it? You cannot answer this question. It's just something happens. Yeah, so I cannot answer.
How it started though?
Just started.
And what kept it going?
Passion, love, working and working and working.
Well, my love for this fashion designing started when I was a child. I actually started drawing. I used to draw comic or animes, you know, and then by time I started focusing more on fashion illustration, and yes, that's what. Yeah, that's it. Actually, what kept me going is seeing those legends, if I can call them that, like M.Ayoub. He's a very popular person, a fashion designer from Lebanon. Well, seeing those people designing such and coming out with very beautiful ideas, and people love it and appreciate it, makes me want to become like them and maybe create new ideas and stuff. So what kept me going is my dreams to become like them. Sadly, no. This university lacks a lot of material and tools, and also people that can help us going on this talent. So I don't think so.
Wow, this is a very difficult question. Creative helps me a lot.